Hey ladies, welcome back to our Salon Talks series. It's your host, Kadeisha Placide, and we are here at our wellness destination, Classic Beauty Studio. And we're back for another Salon Talks series, and I'm so excited, oh my gosh. And for this particular episode, super excited that we have one of our amazing friends and fam, and she was actually with us just a few weeks back as we hosted our annual summit. So our Run the World Summit was just like a couple weeks ago, and I'm just coming off of the high because y'all, it was amazing. Super excited about how everything turned out and worked out, and just God had his hands all over that event. But we are welcoming her back. She's also a tech diva, a corporate baddie, and a mindset strategist. And I'm gonna let her go ahead and introduce herself, and we're gonna turn it right over to you, my lovely.
Oh my gosh, well thank you so much for having me again.
Of course.
I mean, another day to be beautiful with you is one of my favorite opportunities to take a chance on. So hi everybody, I'm Courtney, also known as Adulting with Courtney. I'm a mindset strategist helping people overcome limiting beliefs to connect to their passions and purpose. And I'm all about making adulting fun. Like that is actually like my claim to fame. I got really popular on social media from just living a luxurious life and having the best time doing
that's
it.
That's the only life for us.
Absolutely.
Love it. Okay, so just off the back, how did you get the name Adulting into your handle and into your brand tag? How did that come about?
Absolutely. So it's so funny because it actually came from having a conversation with some of my girlfriends. Everybody was talking about adulting is so ghetto, adulting is so all these things, right? And I was just like, but at the same time, how fly is it that we're grown and we can do whatever we want?
True.
We literally get to live our best life, right? Like, so for me, when I thought about, at the time, my name was also like Bornelius McSwagger, which makes no sense, right? No sense. But at the time I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna actually start taking my social media seriously. Bornelius McSwagger is not a cute name. We're having this whole conversation around adulting being hard, but what if it was soft? What if it was just a mindset shift, right? We assign all these like inappropriate meanings to words, and it doesn't have to mean that. So I'm changing that narrative and making adulting lit, beautiful, and luxurious.
Oh, I absolutely love that. And when we do think about adulting, girl, immediately I'm like, oh, I'm a little stressed out, you know? It does feel tough. But aging is beautiful. We know that, especially for us women. We want to debunk that because society tells us that it's not a great thing, you know? So I love what you're doing by like reframing and like shifting the mindset around what adulting and what aging gracefully looks like. And just as we go on, we build upon our wisdom, and that's a beautiful thing. So I love that, adulting with Courtney.
We also couldn't wait to grow up. Like, never forget that. Like, you could not wait to grow up.
True, especially me. I was like, I can't wait to be free. Yeah.
So live that life.
It's true.
Right?
It's true. And I guess as we get older, the hopes is that we bake more, we become smarter, more intelligent, more wise, and we get to dive into more luxury experiences. That is the hopes as we age.
Exactly.
So that's a great way to think about it. Okay, so in your, I want to say like your rise to uncovering the adult in Courtney, how would you say that wellness has came about as like a model and as a vital point in your journey? Like how has that really like started to incorporate into like the mindset strategist and the wellness component to your brand?
Yeah, I love this question because it's such a passion-led kind of experience that I went through. I had always been like the overweight girl, and I grew up in a predominantly white town, so my body image was just shot a lot of my upbringing, right? And then I went to college and I was around the most diverse group of people, and all of a sudden I was thick.
Ooh.
And I was like,
where did you go?
I went to Quinnipiac University for undergrad, which is not.
I'm like, what's that?
In Connecticut. It's in Connecticut. It's not super diverse, but it's near New Haven, Connecticut, which is a more diverse community. And I mean, I went from being one of 2 Black families to being one of like 100 Black students. So that's actually a big transition when you haven't had that experience. And then also just like that sense of identity that came with that. There's this you're kind of gross, and now you're like kind of like over sexualized. And I was like, I don't like the idea of anybody else defining how I feel in my own body and my own skin. And on top of it all, I come from a family that's like pre-exposed to a lot of like health conditions. So like size to me for a really long time correlated with like lack of health. And that's not true. And I think like a lot of
true.
It's
not true that like weight like correlates with like how healthy we are, because it could be the slimmest person and they're not healthy at
exactly
all, so.
The skinny fat, like right, the skinny fat that we always learn about. And so for me, it was about understanding what is health to me, and that journey took a really long time. It started with like working out way too much, not eating enough, then coming back to a sense of balance and understanding like what does this mean to have a healthy ecosystem for myself, for Courtnee, right? That's unique to me.
Yeah.
And also the mental health component part too, because there is that part where you have these different conditions, you either don't eat enough or you work out too much or you're not sleeping enough or you're just not taking care of your body, and a lot of that's rooted in your mental health as well, which is where the mindset comes in. But most distinctly, I saw that whole like lack of health play out in the pandemic with a lot of the community around me, and especially my grandmother who passed in the pandemic.
I'm sorry.
Okay. She passed though from diabetes. She didn't have the best mental health, and it just kind of relit that fire underneath me to make it part of my personal mission. And at the time, I was also doing a little career coaching, and I was seeing that a lot of people that don't do well in their careers or not going after the things that they want in their careers, it's because you're not prioritizing your wellness. Right?
It's hand in hand.
It's hand in hand.
Your health is your wealth.
Yes, and when you see rich people, I used to like go down to like South Beach and watch rich people run by the water. Run, right? You see a lot of people that are super wealthy always taking care of themselves, right? So adopting that experience of the things that I had went through, seeing my family going through that, seeing the people around me going through that, it just felt like all these different things are pointing me in the direction of prioritizing wellness and making it the most, I guess, the biggest part of my entire brand and being.
That's literally amazing.
Thank
it's
you.
always rich when you hear like how the story evolved and like how it came about, because yours came from an actual like place of like realness.
Yeah.
You know, so the wellness is not just like a buzz thing, it's actually somewhere that's rooted in like your story.
Yes.
So that's beautiful.
Yeah.
In terms of like your fitness regimen and all of that, because we were chatting offline at some point, and you mentioned that you still maintain your workout regimen when you travel.
Yes.
How do you like maintain that discipline?
Yes, 210 weeks of consistency. It's
Wow.
crazy. It's crazy to think. And I tore my Achilles through that too. And it's all this.
You're going in.
Going crazy. But I think the biggest part is having an established like routine that I can always come back to. So I never make it an excuse to not work out. I always have a yoga mat in my luggage if I'm traveling.
That's it. You gotta stay ready.
Stay ready. No excuse. And then also there's always a towel in a room. You can always break out a towel on the mat, on the floor rather, of your hotel room. And I've done that too. You always have your body. Your body is a gym. Like you don't need a whole bunch of equipment. Your body is a gym. Resistance bands are also always with me. So between those and then also prioritizing hotels and places that have access to gyms.
Exactly.
Walking around the cities. Like I was just in Lisbon. I was walking like 10 miles a day. It was just so crazy. But it was like, you know, you do all this like prep. It's like, I think of when I'm in the gym, it's like kind of almost like practicing for the life that I want to live. And so I'm able to walk 10 miles and I don't feel the same type of pain, or I'm able to work out on a hardwood floor and I don't feel that same level of pain. I just don't make excuses and I just show up for myself, whether I'm home or I'm on the road.
Wow, girl. I need some of that because I need that. That I guess it's a level of like discipline, you know, but then it's also like how bad do you really want it?
Yeah.
So just like being super transparent and piggybacking off of like your story as well, weight has always been something, especially in my family, that has been discussed, you know. So I'm into wellness. Both my brothers are like athletes growing up. One of them right now is like in school for his doctorate to be a physical therapist.
So cool.
So like health and fitness has always been something in my family that was really prevalent. And it started, I guess, from a place of like body image and like, okay, you should look like this. And I'm from a Caribbean background, so it was very like strict in how we showed up, whether that be how we showed up in school in terms of grades, or how we show up in terms of our image and how we looked. So we were definitely told that in order to be healthy, in order to thrive and be successful, you should watch your weight, you know, and your weight is correlated to your fitness, and it's correlated to your success in life and all of that. So I've always had that in mind, right? So that leads me here now where I'm always going on my own weight journey, you know? So I guess like as an adult right now, it's just like creating that healthy monologue and image and just mindset around like body positivity. So I feel like you do like an amazing job at that, in general, and it's very inspiring for sure.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I think for me, I actually like veered away from it just being positivity. It's like more so neutral. Like this is the body I got. Like whether it's up or it's down, I'm responsible for the outcomes of what's going on in this body of mine, right? And once you start using more like your weight as information rather than something to shame yourself for, or your body fat as something as information, or even like, you know, you eat something and you look in the mirror and you're like, damn. Yeah,
definitely.
So that's information, right? That's information. Maybe that didn't agree with you, right? Maybe you need to prioritize gut health. So I think so many of us have been conditioned to fit that aesthetic because I grew up very similarly. I grew up in a church family, so everybody was like pretty regimented about everything, and I played sports, but my body didn't comply with the image that people set for me. So I grew up with I cheered and I danced. And so when you dance, there is, you know, recitals and everybody wants you to fit in a certain costume. Same thing with cheerleading. They want you to fit in a certain outfit. And I had these thick thighs.
But they save lives.
They save lives. Now I appreciate them, right? But at the time I was like, dang, like I just am big. Like, and that journey of like, almost letting the adults around you convince you that like you don't fit into some archetype that you didn't create for yourself. You're just a kid, right? Like you have to almost like reset and relearn that. And that's why mindset for me is like such a big deal. Like we have to unlearn a lot of things, and perceptionally, like how you, like I said before, how you look isn't an indicative of your health. There's so many people that look like they're quote unquote healthy. There's so many people that are healthy that have issues, you know what I mean? It's not one size fits all.
It's not. And again, it's about reframing how we look and we think about things, even despite what society tells us. So I think that that's very important, especially for young girls. And we need representation, you know? So it's good that we are in a place where we can show off different body types. We're in a day and age where putting yourself out there is at our fingertips. So it's good that the young people that's growing up, someone that's in cheer class can see someone like your size or my size or anyone else, and see like there is other beautiful women that are of all shapes and sizes. So the representation is, I feel like, what really matters as well.
On that, I was gonna just share, I was in a Peloton campaign. That's how I actually started.
Oh my gosh, tell me about that.
Oh yeah, so I was in, my first ever campaign was when Peloton and Adidas did their launch. And at the time, I was riding Peloton crazy. It was during the pandemic, I was going sick. I had like a whole following that was just riding with me in the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
That is exciting. I never tried the Peloton, but I know that it's very,
we're gonna do a class.
Please.
Yeah, we're gonna do a class. We're gonna do a class.
Okay, so that was one of your, you say your first?
My first global campaign ever.
Wow. And it was a fitness campaign.
And it was a fitness campaign, but when I saw the pictures, the first thing I was like, oh, I look big. I look so big. But then the comments were so like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I get to see this queen that looks like me.
Exactly.
And I was like, the audacity of me to be even questioning myself.
Exactly.
Right?
And the other thing is our bodies. If you are someone that's a believer, you know, our bodies belong to God. It's our temple.
Yes, it is.
It's what keeps our ribs like protected. It's what keeps the blood inside. It's what keeps the water. It keeps everything inside housed beautifully. You know, so it's a nice working system going on inside of our bodies. So we should honor it, you know, when you think about it so deeply in that way, that it's protecting us, it's holding us together, it's carrying us through life.
Yeah.
It's filtering out all the pollutants in the world, it's keeping us healthy, it's keeping us strong, so.
And it's hot.
Yeah.
And it's hot. And it's hot.
Yeah, so I want to pivot a little bit into talking about that the tech world, the corporate world, and that side of Courtnee that probably isn't shared that often. The Courtnee that would, like you're doing on a day-to-day basis, the Courtnee that gets to travel for work. So give us a little bit of background about how you started with that side of things.
Yeah. So I started, well, let me go back to my education. I studied international business in undergrad. So I had this distinct desire after growing up in this one stoplight town to get the hell out, right? And any
Where did
kind
you grow
of
up?
I grew up in Massachusetts, in Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do know a few people that went to school in Massachusetts. And there's a lot of predominantly PWI.
Yes, there's a lot of PWIs. It's even worse when you're in high school.
Damn.
And not necessarily worse.
Not as diverse.
Right, like it's not as diverse, but for what it's worth, I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything different.
Yeah.
So like for me, it was a great childhood. I had a great childhood, but going to school, my parents were like, you can go 3 hours away. And I was like, we're gonna go on the edge of that 3 hours. And studying international business specifically, I did it because I was like, I want to travel the world. I gotta see culture, I gotta see people. I wanna see like different types of energy, how people eat, what people do, all these different things. And my parents were like, well, business is the option. You could do all that, but you better go get a real degree.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to start with the big things.
The big things, for sure. And then I had taken a supply chain class. Well, actually, I had worked for a senator first, and I realized that I would never do anything global politics.
Okay.
And then after that, I took a supply chain class. And in that supply chain class, I realized supply chain is like the interconnectedness that makes product move around the world, AKA I can travel the world with a job like this. So I kind of like narrowed my like focus on getting a supply chain job. I took my first internship in a manufacturing plant, which was the weirdest experience. I'm not gonna lie, but it was the most fulfilling because it gave me a lot of just like real world experience. I was working directly with the COO of the company, and I got to present all my findings on lean manufacturing studies to the entire plant, and they adopted them, and I saved them millions of dollars.
Wow.
And I was like 19.
Not 19, like straight out of college.
No, I was still in college. I was a junior.
I was in high school.
No, I was a junior actually in college and undergrad at the time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then when I graduated, I had pretty much already had a job set up. I went into beauty right away with Elizabeth Arden.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a beauty background.
I do. Beauty, food. I did a bunch of different things.
Wow.
Yeah. And I started this thing. So there's people that literally are paid to forecast. Like, what happens, right? So anything, the dress you have on, right? That dress, somebody had to think that at some point this type of consumer is going to go into this store and they're going to buy this dress. And then they also thought it requires X amount of thread, X amount of fabric for this specific size to make sure that you had the experience that when you got it, it was exactly what you wanted. And that's what I would do. I would predict how many of those customers were going to come in and basically come and buy that item, and how many the plants needed to make sure were available. Yeah.
And what is what's that title called?
Yeah, so it's called demand planning.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's so many ways, there's so many different lanes, you know, when it comes to job opportunities and career opportunities that people just don't know, you know? So, wow, that's very interesting. It's very different, unique, I would say. Or is it not? Is it more common than we think? That job is?
Way more common. Every business benefits from forecasting. So whether it's a salon or if it's you're having events, forecasting is like kind of like the skeleton to understanding how much you're going to spend and how much you need to support. So that was like the bread and butter of my skill set, and I did that for about 10 years. I worked at Elizabeth Arden, Danone, which is like Dannon Yogurt and Evian's parent company, and then L'Oreal. And then after L'Oreal, I was like, I don't think I want to do this job, specifically because I was just outgrowing the skill set. And I had been traveling a lot for that. I was teaching salespeople how to forecast. So I was in and out of Miami like every 6 weeks, which was like fun.
That is super fun. We love traveling.
Right.
Love Miami.
We love Miami.
Yes.
That little bay situation on the yacht.
That is my
It
favorite
was
place,
key.
y'all.
But my spirit was just like, no more of this. It's time for a switch. And so I had originally said, I'm going to stay in beauty. I love beauty as an industry, but I was also in a really like not healthy corporate environment at the same time. The pressures of the company I was at were just out of control, and being the only Black woman in a lot of those meetings, the way I was treated was not okay. And so the tech kind of opportunity came knocking on my door. Another random fact, I've never applied for a job post my internships. I've been recruited for every job I've ever had from LinkedIn.
Really? What do you think that's due to? Is it like having a great LinkedIn profile? Is it just the work that you've done to like maybe scale that business that you said you were helping out at 19? What would you say basically helped you to be someone that was choosable, I guess, for your employers?
Yeah, I think one, having a really unique skill set and being really good at it. Like I had a lot of great references that helped.
Gotcha.
And then also updating my LinkedIn. The amount of people that don't update their LinkedIns is crazy. And it's your resume on the internet for free. Like, and to think now I work at one of the biggest tech companies and they wanted me. L'Oreal, one of the biggest beauty companies, and they wanted me. In fact, L'Oreal hired me the day I went in for my interview.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
So. But then you're also like someone that's very knowledgeable, very well spoken. You have a lot to offer when we meet you. So it's already sold when we meet you, you know. But I guess just like figuring out like what makes someone super high in demand. But yeah, it's just your skill set overall.
And the
LinkedIn.
confidence. It's the confidence. To be honest, I don't always know what I'm talking about. I was not the best demand planner, but I have the confidence to walk up into a 50-person boardroom and say, this is what my idea is.
Wow. The confidence, y'all. That is literally the key for success, for real. And it shows. And it doesn't matter even what our image looks like. It's like that exudes from within, from inside of us, you know? So it'll make anyone like, oh, she thinks she's amazing. I see that. She is amazing. You know, it's very self-affirming when we have that confidence.
Yeah.
So in terms of balance, you know, and I know that's like, some people believe in it, some people don't, you know? So when it comes to balance, how would you say that you're able to balance what you're doing in your corporate, your tech world, and what you're doing with your brand, Adulting with Courtnee? Like, how has that balance been going for you?
Yeah, so I'm actually one of the people that don't believe in balance. I think that balance is an outcome. Okay. And so more so it's about being in flow with the momentum of life. So I have to be honest with myself. Sometimes I just don't have the energy to do everything and fire on all cylinders. And so I don't. I used to, and I used to burn out crazy. I crashed out at the end of last year, to be honest, with my life, because I was making the most money I had ever made in my business. I was doing great at work and I was traveling the world, but I was so, like, my spirit was tired.
Weary. That's what happens when you are burnt out.
That's exactly. Yeah. So I started adopting this perception of momentum. Life is always going to be moving. Life is always going to be flowing. How can I make sure that I'm just nurturing myself enough for the season that I'm in and moving with the momentum that life is taking me towards?
Wow, that is amazing. And in terms of, do you want to mention a little bit about your day-to-day?
Yeah, sure, okay. I can totally.
So what's your day-to-day like?
Yeah, so let's explain my job. That is one of the hardest things. So technically my title is a program manager and I won't say the company just for,
No problem.
Yeah, okay.
But a tech company.
But I work at a big tech. I'm a program manager there. I'm responsible for the intellectual property vendor workforce for that company. So what that means is we have different companies that execute actions for us. I'm responsible for all of those agents and ensuring that they are the most efficient, optimized, kind of tool of our tool belt to make sure that our rights holders are supported with the things that they need around intellectual property. So if somebody steals your pictures, we make sure that that doesn't happen.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the explanation. I was gonna say, what does all of that mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you, Beyonce, Disney, none of y'all want your pictures taken.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody selling counterfeit Kadeisha shirts, right? Like, that'd be crazy, right? But we basically enforce on the platform, since they're used by so many different users, to make sure that that's not happening globally.
Got it.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. And would you say that now you're more fulfilled in that life, you know, aside from your branding? Would you say that now, in terms of like career, day-to-day, nine to five, you're more fulfilled than you were when you were working before?
I don't think that I'll ever be fulfilled by corporate, to be honest.
Okay.
She pays my bills.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I know a lot of us women, men, we stay with the corporate because it's stable.
Yeah.
You know, and we need stability in this economy.
Yeah.
Especially if you are raising children, if you have a home, if you have anything like some assets that require stability, you need to stay with that. So I get it.
I'll even take it a level further. I took this job for wealth building. Yes. So this is like, that's exactly my focus. Yeah. So there's certain companies that offer you stock packages, right, when you join those companies. And that was the one that I worked for. So I was like, look, at the time I was about to turn 30. So I was like, okay, I'm about to be 30. I don't really have a lot of anything. I lived in Washington Heights. I wasn't going to buy anything in Washington Heights at the time. And I was like, look, I got to do something drastic. And I actually had this opportunity to do something like this with Apple years ago. And I missed it because I didn't want to move to Texas, which, you know, sad. Sad, but it's okay, right?
Yeah, everything happens how it's supposed to, when it's supposed to. So even if that circles back around, you never know.
And that's exactly it. And I prayed about it because at the time I was like, I don't know if this is going to be. And so I took this job purely for wealth building for that same reason. If this opportunity was coming back around, I felt like God was like, look, this is your next chance. You listen, be obedient or don't. And it has been one of the biggest game changers for me. I think when I think about wellness across the wellness wheel is like a principle that we use in the wellness space. And there's all the different, there's occupational wellness, there's physical, emotional, and financial.
Girl, I think that's the theme of this year.
Yeah.
Financial wellness. Yeah, because we have to, as an adult, in adulting, you literally have to make sure that you're able to live out, pay your bills. And not only that, but like be able to create structure and generational wealth for the next generation. If we want to have children, for our brothers, sisters, whoever, that's so important, and it's about financial planning. So I think that was a great choice and a determinant factor for you to even choose like another job. It was a very responsible decision.
It's a very adult decision, yes for sure. Yes. But it has paid tenfold because I feel like as a creator, I got more insight on how to be a creator. I've gotten more opportunities to like do workshops internally, which gave me the confidence to do workshops externally. So, you know, you use it as a launch pad to test your ideas and do great work. Like the big part about being an entrepreneur and also being in corporate is you must do exceptional work at work, because like if you're gonna do the both and you gotta make sure that you are indexing to make sure your bills are paid. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when it comes to the external work that you do in the external workshops, because of course we know you're killing it in your day-to-day, in your corporate life, but the amazing work that you do when it comes to your mindset strategist and like the wellness and the content creator as well. You also have hosting underneath your belt as well.
Yes, now I do. Thank you so much for that.
Of course. We loved having you at the past Run the World Summit, our 2025 summit, and girl, it was amazing. The feedback that we've gotten, it was just, I'm blown away. I'm still in awe. I'm still coming off from a high from that.
Me too.
But definitely, first and foremost, thank you. You know, thank you for your obedience. Thank you for saying yes to the call. Thank you for picking up the phone.
Literally.
Yes. So, from your experience hosting, would you do it again? Not just within us, but like, how do you feel about hosting now, adding that underneath like your belt?
To be honest, and then when we had talked about it, I was like, you know, this is like almost like God giving me something that I've always had in the back of my mind that I would love to do. So yes, I absolutely want to do more of it. I have so many different ideas. It inspired me to make sure that I'm getting my podcast going. So really nervous and excited for that.
Yes.
And the feedback from that room, you know, women, we can be critical of each other, but we can also celebrate each other like no other. And the way that that celebration was happening, not just of me, but of everybody in that room. I think like the best part of being a host is like, it's not about me. It's about the vibe of that room and how people are able to connect. And that ending piece where everybody got to introduce themselves. So everybody got to sit around a circle and introduce themselves. And it was
so beautiful and just so organic, authentic. We didn't come, it was no showiness. No. But I will also add on that Courtnee hosted our wellness day. So a part of like the multi-days that we have for our summit, we have a key day, which is probably my favorite, which is the wellness day. Yeah. And of course, it's so fitting because you already have that model tied into your branding. So it was just perfect alignment at that time. Great timing as well for both of us. Yes. But yeah, that's just giving you guys more insight in terms of like which day it was. But it was our wellness day, which incorporates fitness. It incorporates activations such as like massages. We do have an amazing marketplace as well.
And candle making.
And candle making.
The candle making. That candle smells so good in my place.
I still have it burning. Like it's still like I'm savoring it.
Yeah, you're like just for a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's, for me, it's strong because I keep it like in my living room.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is kind of strong. Let me blow it out. So I've been able to savor it still. I still got it.
Amazing.
But our wellness day included a lot of fitness stuff. So at the end, like you said, we gathered around in a circle and we introduced ourselves. Courtnee, you led an amazing like interactive activity, I would say, towards the end of that day, which people left out feeling rejuvenated, inspired, celebrated. So yes.
My favorite part was the next day when I came for day 2, seeing the same people hanging out.
Yes.
I was like, wow, you guys actually came to day 2 with a friend now. Maybe you came by yourself, but now you got a homie.
Exactly.
And that's beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the great thing about hosting different events is that for us, for sure, we always see people leave out with a friend, like you're saying. Community gets built, you know. And when your community gets built, your network gets built, your net worth also gets built up as well, because opportunities go around. Someone might have an open door, an opportunity for someone, and they wouldn't have had that before coming into a space. So the hosting also helps to connect people and bring people together, which is just like a key part. So yeah, job well done, girl.
Thank you. And also shout out to you, because you came in with the purpose for real by orchestrating that. I know that God has definitely done his work with and putting it in your heart to want to do something like that, but to be able to bring such dynamic people together to have such a production happen, I'm in awe of you.
Thank you, girl. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna close out. I do want to hear, I want to say 3 non-negotiables that you are taking for the next half of the year. So 3 non-negotiables that you are not putting up with for now until the end of 2025.
Number 1, no excuses. We're not making excuses.
I love that.
We're not about anything, and I'm not accepting them around me. I'm not accepting them for myself. I'm not accepting excuses from anybody. Cash that check with somebody else. Yeah. Okay. Number 2, I'm not going to hesitate. I don't want to hesitate anymore. I feel like so many times the great ideas, we think too much about them and then we hesitate on the action. I'm not hesitating anymore. We don't got time for that. We have so much opportunity in front of us. I'm going after everything that's mine, like for sure. And that's a non-negotiable.
Love it.
And then number 3 is loving on my people. I feel like this year I've seen the power of love, new love, old love, big love, small love. Love right now in the way that the world is, we really need to show up for each other, right? And I'm not taking any of the fake stuff. None of the, oh my gosh, I love you so much.
No fake love.
If you're gonna tell me you love me, you better love me,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it doesn't have to be no deep, like, oh, I want to marry. But if you tell me you love me, and if I tell you I love you, it's because I mean that from my spirit.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of where people can find you,
Yes.
also, we love your hair.
Oh yes, classic studio.
It looks amazing. Truly.
This wellness destination is actually truly a wellness destination because I came in here so hot because it's like 90 degrees in New York.
It's hot as heck. Concrete hot.
Hot.
Yes.
And the receptionist was like, water? You want to chill? You want to breathe? Okay, just take a second. And then we got into my appointment, and just that like sense of, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Pause.
Exhale.
Exhale. And then let's make you beautiful. And I feel absolutely gorgeous.
Awesome.
So,
You look
thank
amazing. And the style is like very unique, very Courtnee.
Yes.
Very nice. I love it so much.
Very
Love it.
cutesy, very demure.
But yes, where can everyone find you?
Yes, Adulting with Courtnee on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, or adultingwithcourtnee.com.
Love it. Thank you, Courtnee.
Thank you so much, Kadeisha.
Of course, of course. And you guys continue to follow us at Official Women Empower across all different social platforms. YouTube, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, and LinkedIn.
Oh, yes.
LinkedIn as well.
Come on, LinkedIn.
Yes.
Yes, you can also connect with me. LinkedIn, that's Courtnee Williams.
Awesome. So yes, continue to follow us, and we'll see you back for another Salon Talks with amazing women like Court.
Oh,
Thank
you so much.
Yes.